afternoon, everyone, and welcome to June 1st Topic Time. Boy, the year is going by fast, and we are in the month of June, and I have an awesome show for you tonight here at Area 58 TV. Beautiful model artist, and I'm going to talk to her in a few minutes, as you know I always do with my guests. But before we get to her, I got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We have Manny's Auto Repair in Taunton. We have South Shore Trains and more in Pembroke. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got Barnacote Monuments in Middleborough. We have Carver Jewelers right here in the building. Ronald R. Liley, Delano Goldsmiths. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Main Ingredient Just Good Food in Middleborough. We have Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We have Studio 53 Salon and Day Spa in Pembroke. 20% off for the first cut with Samantha Elliott, the stylist. Then we have the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note, I'll introduce this lovely young lady. This is Madeline Teresa Pagano. She's an actress. I'm not an actress, but she's an artist and a model. And if it turns out she's an actress too, that's great. We'll find out all about her in a little while we talk. But first of all, Madeline, I want to thank you for coming down here from, I believe you said, Norwich, Connecticut.
Yep.
It was pretty, long trip from where you were at, but it was worth it, I hope.
Yes, it was. It was a pretty drive.
What's that? Of course, it was a nice afternoon. The weather's certainly nice out today. It seems to be flipping from one extreme to the other, but that's New England. If you've lived here long enough, you know that. And okay, all right. Well, tell me a little about yourself. You look like you're still fairly young. You dress very sharp for the show. Like I do with all my guests, I try to find out what they were like as young kids and how it got them to where they're at now. So tell me about that. What were you like as a young child, and where did you grow up, and what did you aspire to, and how did it get you to where you're at? And then I'll throw in the questions if I have them, and we'll cover it and move on from that level to the current level to the next level. So go ahead.
Yeah, my childhood, I was a very happy kid.
You which?
I was a very happy kid.
That's great. I hope you're still a happy adult.
Yeah, of course.
Good. Okay.
I actually spent most of my childhood in and out of a wheelchair. So
really?
I did, and I got into modeling around like 12, 13. And I took a break because I had like 8 leg surgeries, and I had to relearn how to walk, and I didn't want to get back into it until I was older.
Okay.
So kind of in that interim, I really started diving more into art.
Great.
As an outlet, like a form of expression.
Yes.
And I loved it. Have an art minor.
And where? At the college? Mm-hmm. And what college is that?
I graduated in 2020 from Quinnipiac with a...
Oh, that's in Boston, right?
It's in...
Worcester.
No, it's in Hamden, Connecticut.
Hamden, Connecticcut. That would have been my third guess. Third time's the charm. I'm glad I should have just asked you. Okay, I don't know why, but I thought they might have had a branch in Mass, but maybe yes, maybe no, I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Okay, well that's great. And you minored in art. What did you major in?
I majored in health science.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So you just graduated in 2020. Mm-hmm. All right. And what did you do after that? What did you do since you graduated?
Since I've graduated, I've just been traveling a little bit here and there. I started nursing school.
Okay.
This past year.
All right.
I'm at MCPHS University.
Is that also in Connecticut?
Nope, it's in Worcester.
Okay. Again, I should have asked, but go ahead.
It's in Worcester, and I just started working as a behavioral therapist for kids with autism, and that's what I'm doing currently.
And I have autism too, and we discussed that.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm really excited working with kids and their families and their homes one-on-one. I'm going to figure out how to integrate some of my art therapy into that care as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now this is great. Did your school get you the job? Did you do it through an internship, or did you just apply, or?
I do a lot of what I do, like, kind of on my own.
Okay.
I have, like, my own personal endeavors that I do outside of school.
Okay.
So.
Like what, if you don't mind my asking?
I am working on a lot of commissioned art pieces right now.
Okay. Commission meaning they're paying you for them, right? Wow.
Yeah. So I'm doing some of those, and I had met with a gallery pretty recently that wants me to send some of my pieces over to sell and show them, which I'm really excited for.
Okay.
It's still in the works, but I'm hoping everything will work out in the next month. So. Yeah, I'm like excited. I've been making a lot more pieces, experimenting with different mediums.
You mean like sculpting and
Yeah.
maybe other types of etching?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, now who's commissioning you for these artworks?
I'm actually making this last piece for an officer who helped me out when I needed some help.
A witch, an officer?
Yep.
I mean,
an
a police officer.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So she wanted a custom piece of fluid art. It's three pieces, so
Okay.
you put it together, you arrange it any way that you want. And yeah, it was a lot of fun making it, and she enjoyed it. She loved
sure
it.
she
So,
did.
yeah.
Okay.
Made me happy, making something for somebody that made them happy too.
That's awesome. Well, you're obviously doing this work as a career. You're doing pretty well. I've seen you work on that video. Who made that video for you that we're going to look at about halfway through the show?
Yeah. So that company is like really big in my life. It's RIMI, so Rhode Island Medical Imaging.
Okay.
They're pretty big in Rhode Island and some parts of Mass.
Yep.
They did a lot of my imaging and care a lot of my life.
Okay.
So they knew my story. They reached out to me and wanted me to do a medical campaign for them. And so they made a commercial of my story and my art. And yeah.
Okay.
Pretty awesome.
You mentioned that you were working. You had to really learn to walk, and you've done it very well. Obviously, you're walking fine from what I can see. Is it worth? Just want to know if that's something you want to mention. How that came to be, or is it just if it's not relevant, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean it's pretty relevant. It's a big part of everything that I do, and I'm very public about it.
Okay.
I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Okay.
It's a connective tissue disease, so I live in chronic pain. And when I was young and I didn't have the quality of life that I wanted to,
Right.
it wasn't bad. It was just I wanted more.
Right.
And so me and my doctor had decided that I wanted to have a bunch of surgeries to fix my legs so that I could walk and do things at recess and potentially try and do some sports
Okay.
at one point. And it's something that if I would do it again if I still had the choice. I would still choose to do it again.
You choose to do what again?
All the surgeries that I've had.
Okay. Oh,
They
well,
were
good.
at-
Obviously, they've worked for you.
Yeah.
Well, but aren't you glad that they're over?
Well,
Well, all right.
So far.
I guess that what I'm getting at is, are you currently needing more?
yeah,
You are.
most likely. It's a condition that it's incurable. You're gonna have things that pop up,
Wow.
and that's fine. But I take it with like a really positive attitude.
Of course.
And I'm very open about it.
Yep.
And I think that's really important.
It is.
Especially, having a disability that one can't see.
Yeah.
So people don't always know what's going on.
Right.
So it's good to, provide some education about it.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, obviously, it's probably a condition that affects a lot of people that we don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see you, you're a great role model for those people. Obviously,
I would hope so.
Yeah. So tell me about when did you start modeling? I mean, obviously you look pretty nice, and tell me about when did you start and how long you've been doing it, and where have you appeared in models in your modeling work?
Mm-hmm. So I did a little bit when I was around 12, 13, and then
Okay.
I stopped. And then I had my first runway show when I was 18.
Okay.
After I graduated high school, my old art teacher is also a fashion designer.
Okay.
So I walked for her at a venue called Style Week in Providence.
Okay.
And that kind of got the ball rolling for me.
Okay.
And I got my foot in the door, and it was something that I really loved. And it was my first experience, like, walking down a runway, and just the whole idea from, like, where I grew up to, like, me doing that as a job.
Okay. Wow.
It was awesome, and it was really empowering. So I wanted to do more of it, and I just kind of kept connecting with other people. I met a wonderful friend. His name's Joe Maleka,
Okay.
and I've been working with him for.
Is he a photographer?
He's a pretty well-known designer
Oh,
in
okay.
like Boston and New
What does he
England in
design though?
general.
Like clothes?
Yeah,
Okay.
like high fashion clothes.
Got it.
Yeah, so he got me like really started and involved in a lot of the runway work that I do now.
Okay, so you're still involved in runway work now, right?
Mhm. Yes,
I mean, I'm
am.
guessing, looking, you said when you were 18, and you don't look much past that now.
I'm 23.
Well, right, I think
Yeah.
you just said you just graduated college last year, so it sounds like the timeline is just about that, early 20s. And that's awesome. So you're able to, I mean, and you're able to do all that. Now, how many photographers have you worked with so far? Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Oh,
like,
I don't know.
well, I assume there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I like working with photographers, and I love their way of working is so different from
Right.
each other, and I love experimenting with different creative ideas
Okay.
with different photographers, and just working as a team.
Okay,
I think that's really important
Right.
to work with somebody you're really comfortable with, very positive. Yeah.
oh, well, that's awesome, okay. Well, do you think you've worked with at least a dozen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, oh, that's,
Yeah.
if you lost count, then I figured it'd have to be at least
Yeah.
a dozen. And aside from any other type of modeling besides runway, you done any magazines?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about the magazines.
Yeah, I've been published, I think, 3 times for Dream Life Rose magazine, and I have written an article for them as well.
Cool.
'Cause I used to write. And I was also in a newspaper article for Style Week that showed some designers and stuff, and they used one of my pictures.
Well,
as-
pictures of you, you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm just wondering, do you feel that, it sounds like what you're going through isn't limiting you very much at all. And I know I know it's work though. I know that there are days, you're gonna have your down days, obviously. We all have stuff. So, have you ever done any acting at all? I'm just wondering, any music, anything
Well-
like that? I always try to find out how much. I know at the beginning of the show I started to say actress because I do interview a lot of people that do acting. But what I like to do is establish how multifaceted all my guests are. So I want to find out if there's anything about you that if I forgot to ask that people are going to be disappointed. So tell me about anything else that might be relevant
I
here.
did theater when I was younger.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
act
talk
now.
about that. When you were a
Yeah.
child, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
when I was young, I loved music and theater, and I did my high school plays. I did a cappella and chorus in college.
Okay,
So I did that, and I do sing now. I play ukulele, and I'm learning guitar.
okay.
So.
You can sing something a cappella here if you
Oh
want.
no, I can't do stuff on the spot.
But that's great though. This is why I ask these questions, because there might be things about you that we didn't know before. Now
Yeah.
we do.
Yes.
Well, guess what? We're halfway through the show, and we're going to look at Madeline's clip, and you're going to love it because I watched it and it was amazing. And after we watch it, we're going to come right back and talk about it. So without further ado, we'll be right back.
Art has always kind of been my passion. Done it since I was very young, and it was very therapeutic for me when I was in pain or, when I had any mental stuff going on. Art was kind of like my getaway. When I'm painting, I feel like I'm free. So it's really interesting because a lot of people don't know that I have a disability, and I've had a lot of people that kind of judge before they have a conversation with me. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It kind of impacts a lot of my joints and my tendons and ligaments, which cause them to be hypermobile. So they kind of stretch out, and it's caused me to have a lot of surgeries and a lot of imaging my whole life. I know as a kid, my dad and my mom took a lot of care with me. I had a tough time walking across even parking lots without being in a lot of pain. And my dad would carry me on his back, and I do have a lot of back issues and back curvatures that kind of impact my walking and gait. So I've kind of needed to deal with flexing and kind of dealing with the pain when I decide to go down the runway, but it's an amazing experience to kind of show other women who are like me that anything's possible, even if you have scars and you're a little different, that you're capable of doing anything that you want. Rhode Island Medical Imaging has been a huge part of my life. They're kind of the key to encouraging patients to really push through and maximize the healing process and what it can lead to. and the hope that it can provide. Without the company and the things that they do for people, I wouldn't be where I was. I wouldn't be walking down a runway. I wouldn't have had the surgeries that I had. I wouldn't have healed the way that I did. I believe that living with intention and facing adversity and living life to the fullest is very important. You should always want to have an impact on the world around you.
Oh, that was great.
Thank you.
Tell me about, now let's discuss that.
Okay.
Let's elaborate on it further. Describe what we just saw. And who, you know, that was you painting and there was pretty good music behind it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did they produce, who produced it and how did it get produced?
Yeah, so the Rhode Island Medical Imaging
Okay.
TV production team came to my apartment at
Cool.
Quinnipiac
Okay.
and saw my setup in my apartment because I had my art studio in one corner.
Okay.
So I had all my art and my collage walls, and you know, that was kind of my working station. So they wanted me to, you know, show a lot of my work, and yeah, a lot of that stuff on that wall I did make while I was going through some tough times with
Right.
pain and stuff, and I liked, like, a lot of that stuff is made out of different materials.
Yeah,
None of it's
okay.
like the same, so it was very fun to experiment with different things and colors and just see how it makes me feel and just kind of escape from what's going on through my art.
That's awesome. And it was amazingly done, and I'm so proud of you for for having accomplished that.
Thank you.
And it's pretty cool that that your school would be willing to take. Now this isn't the school you attended, this right? The medical school, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
the school for you learn how to deal with autistic people, right?
Well, no.
Work with them. I mean, I shouldn't say deal with. Work
Yeah.
with.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I meant to say. I mean, you're doing it right now, so as far as that's awesome. So tell me about how that's going right now. What would your job description be, or what would your title be? Social worker, therapist,
Behavioral therapist.
behavioral therapist.
Yes.
And in order to become one of those now, you needed a degree, correct? Or some kind of certification.
Yeah, a certification.
Okay.
So I did some training. And then in order to become a registered behavioral therapist, you have to do 40 hours of training, and then
40?
40.
That's not so bad.
No,
You can
it's
do
not
it
too
in
bad.
40 hours is not even 2 days. I mean, you
Yeah.
can do it in a week probably.
Yeah. So I did that training. So I liked it a lot. And then
Okay, where did you do it?
A few weeks ago.
Where? Oh,
Through the company Key Autism Services,
okay.
and you work alongside with a BCBA, which is a behavioral analyst.
Okay.
And in order to get that degree, you have to have an undergraduate 4-year degree, and then you go back and get a master's in behavioral analytics.
Okay.
And it's something that I might look into doing at one point. I know I'm in nursing school right now, and I'm just going to finish my degree and see where kind of both paths take me.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the next 5 years, but
No, none of
open.
us knows
Yeah,
that.
I'm open to, exploring whatever it is that I'm doing at the time.
But being that you're a nursing student, do you have any set goals in like where you're gonna work when you're done, or what you're gonna specialize in as well, or aside from anything in addition to working with autistic people, just taking blood in
Yeah.
hospitals or helping people walk, helping people that have conditions that affect their physical status like you have.
Yes.
And anyone, just anybody, right? But
Yeah.
you're not sure where you're going to be yet, or is that it?
I'm kind of figuring it out. I've wanted to do orthopedics and
Oh,
pain
yeah.
management.
Okay.
But I would want to do that as a nurse practitioner, so I'd get my master's as
Okay.
a nurse.
All right.
And that way I can diagnose and treat and prescribe and do a little bit more, hands-on patient
All right.
experience,
All right. Now listen, this is going to sound maybe a little off the wall, but I got to tell you, in spite of what you're telling me about your history, you look very athletic. and you look very athletic to me. And
Thank
that having been said, what I'm going to ask is, in spite of everything else, do you participate in any athletics to the best of your ability or not? And if not, that's fine.
I'm relatively active.
Okay.
I have to do physical therapy all the time,
Right.
so I do stay active. I have to take care of my diet.
Yep.
I, have to continue to push through and to remain strong and
Yep.
build up muscle. And
Yep.
so yeah, I do play a little bit of basketball.
Cool.
Not competitively.
No,
at
no,
all,
that's
but
fine.
Yeah,
but
I
well,
like
I jog in my
basketball.
living room every day, so
Yeah.
so that's not competitive either, but it's to try and
Yeah.
keep my weight down.
Yeah, and when I was younger, I swam competitively for 18 years.
You did what for 18 years?
Swam.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a great sport because
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was-
because no matter how, I mean that's the great thing about being buoyant. You don't have to. You're not putting any pressure on any of your joints that are sore. Mm-hmm. That's right. I
Very
know.
good for you.
Yeah. Do you still swim now?
I don't have a pool.
You don't
so
have a pool.
No.
Oh, how about the ocean?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you, now speaking of that, you staying in a similar kind of path. Ever done any bikini shots for modeling?
Some. I usually personally stay away from it just because with what I like to do, I'd like to do more high fashion stuff.
Okay.
I've done some. It depends on who I work with or who I'm okay with at the time.
Right.
And where I'm okay with with myself.
Right. Of course.
Because I do have a health condition that makes me look a little bit different.
Okay.
So and with being in a bikini, I do have a lot of scars on my legs.
Okay.
And it's always if you're wearing less clothes, you always got to say I don't want them edited out.
Right. I understand. Okay.
So at one point, I know that I'll be comfortable enough where I will do some more. But I just want to do it in a way that's advocating for disability.
Okay. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I hope we're covering this as tactfully as we can because this is really awesome stuff. This is very informative and helpful to other people in this situation. All right. Well, so tell me in terms of your work with people with autism. Do you have any a certain number of clients now that you see regularly?
Just one for
Okay,
now.
for now.
Yep.
Is it a child?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
kids. So you just work one-on-one,
Okay.
rerouting behaviors in young children and helping them have gain some skills so that they can grow up and be more involved within the community.
Okay.
And have a better chance at being successful.
All right. Well, I mean, now here's the thing. We're talking about autism and Asperger's, which is what I have. It's to put it in a nutshell, over the years, I've been diagnosed as being schizophrenic. I've almost been committed a couple of times. My parents couldn't afford the tuition, so. But and then years later, I've been seeing. I don't see a shrink right now, but I've been seeing. Off and on, I started seeing them when I was 4, and a lot of them told my parents I should be locked up in a nut house for a few years with shock treatment. Now this was back in the '60s when I was a kid. I think things have come a long way since then. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I'm still socially as awkward as ever. I kind of sweep that under the rug twice a week to do my show. But that's the what I'm trying to relate my own situation to people that you deal with. I don't do. I'm pretty much a loner except for the people I interview on my show and the people that I talk to that work here like Chris and everything. I pretty much do. I go by myself and I pretty much go to the beat of my own drummer in such a way that if people could see me in public, they'd still think I was, committable. So, is that what you deal with when you with the person? And I mean, I'm sure he's probably very happy to have you as his social worker. Is that right? I'm just wondering, but you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, what I do is a lot of what I do is just making the kids and the family comfortable and
Okay.
happy and gain skills and
Like social skills,
yeah,
right?
social
Okay.
skills.
Because people with autism are not, in fact, in some ways, and to some degrees, are actually probably more perceptive than most people are.
They're really smart.
Yes, exactly.
Really, really smart, and they're wonderful, wonderful people.
Oh yeah.
And it's I have a lot of personal experience in my family, and it's something that I've always been very passionate about.
Of course.
It takes a lot of patience.
It does.
It does take the right kind of person, but I think it's really important to, in any sort of disability or mental illness, it's really important to advocate and to use whatever platform you have and to, spread awareness.
That's good. Okay, I know that's what I'm saying. The fact that you have patience, and given what your life has been like, that you really got to have patience. And in a way, and I always say everything happens for a reason. And if there's a blessing in disguise in all that, that's what it is. The fact that you're able to spread the feeling of I got this, you got this, and take it to the next level with the people that you're dealing with, and that's awesome. Well, guess what, Madeline? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. And I hope we covered as much of what as much as we could about you. And so what I want you to do in the remaining time is to look at the camera with the orange light and give shouts out to people that are going to see it. We can condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up, just the way we began with my music. So go ahead.
All right. I want to thank my parents who did an amazing job raising me and taking care of me, and my sister who I love, and my brother. I love both of you, and my awesome friends and everybody else out there that does or doesn't know me, and just stay positive.
Okay, that's awesome. See, that was a great job doing the wrap up. You didn't. Some people they renamed 400 people in 5 minutes, and they all people that you named know, or people that you spoke of anonymously. Obviously, your parents and your family. They all know who they are, and the other people do as well.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I'm going to ask is that if you had a good time with me tonight, and I'm hoping you did, if there's anybody you know that has an interesting story to tell, you have my digits, have them text me.
Okay.
I've been getting more guests from word of mouth lately than ever.
Okay.
Now, just going forward, do you have anything on the horizon that you got coming up that you want to mention real quick that you may not have mentioned before, and then we'll wrap the show up? Any events coming up that maybe that you're gonna even if it's
there's
Okay,
a
go ahead.
a modeling trip with Joe Maleka in Africa.
You're going to Africa?
Yes.
When?
Hopefully November.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's been kind of in the works because of COVID.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
pushed back, but that's exciting. So whenever that happens,
That is
I'm
exciting.
very excited. Yep.
Well, call me Buana. Well, that was awesome. Okay, well, best of luck with that, and
Thank you.
send me a postcard if you would.
Thank you.
So, all right, well, on that note, are you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it?
Yeah.
All right, Madeline, you did a great job. And folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good one.